Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, I did something I normally don't do. I bought some single cards. And the reason why I did this is because I think these are going to be a really great investment long term. Because these Charizards are not the normal Charizards. They're the first ones ever produced. They have a no, let me get a pen here. Right here, see? There is no rarity symbol right there. No star. There should be a star there. There's that French Charizard that I got. Too much crap. See, you should have a star right there. I think this is French. Some other language. Anyway, see right there? There's a star. These are called no rarity symbol Charizards. They're the first ones ever produced. Apparently for a couple weeks, they produced Charizards and other cards, the whole base set over in Japan, with no symbols right there for rare, uncommon, which is a diamond, and right, I think it's a diamond. Yeah, uncommon's a diamond, and then common's a circle. Make sure of that. Yeah, see that's an uncommon. It's got a diamond. And then common is a circle. Anyway, you get the point. So apparently these were only produced for a short time. So these are guaranteed. They were the first Charizards ever to be produced as far as print runs. And there's not very many of them. They're super rare. So I'm going to tell you what I paid for them, and then I'm going to show you the quality of them, and you're probably going to be surprised. Right off the bat, look right here. Okay, that's how much I paid for them. One of them came from Japan, which is the worst condition one, and then I got 3 more from a UK seller, and the total is almost $14,000 I paid for these. So remember the other day I told you I had some GE stock? Well, I sold the GE stock, and I took the profit that I made in like 7 months. I took the profit and bought these cards with the profit from selling my GE stock. So here's the first one that came in from Japan, okay? Here's what it looks like. Overall, it's nice, eye-appealing from the front, as you can see, okay? And it's got a little nick on the corner up there, and then where my fingers are, there's a couple of little marks right by my thumb. See right there? So all in all, it looks pretty good. And I'm not really happy with this Japanese seller. He's a crazy eBayer. He's got a couple on there now. He's constantly changing his listings. Like I bought this, and then he changed the photo and put it to something else. So I couldn't even tell what I bought because it's gone from eBay. And he's constantly changing his listings, and he wants top dollar for these things. I paid $25.50 I think for this, and with tax and shipping it was like I said, $2,700 for this card. And I liked the way it looked, but he did not show me what I'm going to show you on the back. Look at that nice little crease there. So I was sort of disappointed that it had that big crease in it, but judging based on what I bought the other cards for and their condition, it is what it is. These are not perfect cards. If this was a 9, it'd be like $70,000. I mean, these are right up. The price of these are right up there with the first edition Charizards, English. So, and I think actually these are going to eclipse the English version, first editions first, because they made less of these. And I'll tell you a story, okay? Like magic cards, like this here's a Mana Drain from Italian. It's Italian Mana Drain. I'm going to talk about this in another video when I talk about going with the flow of popularity. I'm going to do a video on that one of these days. So anyway, I wrote on here, and this is why I put little sticky notes on things, because I paid $100 back in 2013, December 15th of 2013. Now, Magic cards are different than Pokemon cards in the respect that I don't think they appreciate as much. And, man, there was a story I was going to tell you about this, and I just totally lost my train of thought because I started thinking about playing with this card when I was playing Magic and stuff and how great of a card it is. This is an awesome card, but then they reprint it, so it's not worth as much. It hasn't gone up as much. So this mint condition card that I bought, you know, almost eight years ago is only went up by $100. Imagine if I put that money, that $100, into a Charizard. I could have bought like a mint condition one, okay? For $100 8 years ago, and that would be worth $15,000 now. You get the math? You see how that works? I'm not buying any more Magic cards. If I want to put money into something, I'm putting it into Pokemon, because Pokemon is like, it's insane how fast stuff goes up because there's such a demand. People will they look at this stuff and they watch it going up and up and up. They're like, well, if I don't buy it now, it's going to be even more, so they buy it. So that feeds the frenzy. There's a lot of people that love Pokemon, and there's a lot of people like me that invest in it. And that drives the price up too, because I'm buying these things, and now they're not on the market. So anyway, see, I was saying about this Magic card. See the corners? They're nice and normal rounded, okay? So in Magic, when they first came out with Magic cards, they came out with what was called Alpha. They had a really worn corner here. It didn't look normal. It looked, in my opinion, stupid, right? The card did not look good. So Alpha cards were not as popular as the Beta cards. Okay? You know, card for card. Like a dual land Alpha was not as popular as a Beta dual land. Alpha versus Beta. So when I put together my Beta set 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, you know, back when Revise was coming out, or it was out already, I started putting together a Beta set because it wasn't that much money. I mean, I spent $300 on a Beta Black Lotus that should be at least an 8.5, and I think it should be a 9 graded, right? I haven't graded it. Anyway, so I overlooked Alpha, and I've told you guys this before if you've watched my channel, and a guy told me, you put together a Beta set, why don't you do an Alpha set? And I go, no, I don't like the way the cards look, right? Even though they're more rare, I don't like the way they look. And also, nobody knew back then that Magic and Pokemon would be here today in this level, because everything was relatively new. In fact, when Magic first came out, the people that played Dungeons and Dragons laughed at it and scoffed at it, and and I was one of them. I didn't think Magic was gonna be this popular, and I should have bought a whole bunch of it because I was at a convention where they were selling Alpha Magic. I could have got cheap, normal, whatever price it was, and I would have brand new cards because I take care of my stuff. Those cards would be worth a ton of money right now, but I overlooked it. So anyway, my point about all this rambling and talking about Alpha versus Beta. So I did not buy the Alpha cards. Well, guess what? Nowadays, years later, a decade and change later, Alpha cards are worth more than Beta cards, strictly because of the rarity factor. There's less Alpha than there are Beta. Okay, I think there's for every rare Alpha card, I think there's 1,100, and then there's 3,000 Beta. So there's only 3,000 Beta Black Lotuses, but there's only 1,100 or 13 or 1,400, something like that, Alpha Black Lotuses. So the Alpha cards are twice as rare as the Beta card, okay? So guess what the price? The price for Alpha is more than the Beta. So based on rarity, these cards here I think are going to be worth more in the future just because of rarity. I could be wrong, but I just bet $14,000 that I'm going to be right. Okay, maybe they won't be more money. Maybe they will just be the same. Maybe they'll be a little bit less. But I guarantee you they're going to be worth more as time goes on. But I'm betting they're going to be even worth more than what they are nowadays compared to the English versions. Did I say that right? They're going to be worth more money now compared to the first edition English versions. If they're tied or a little bit lower. So here's the second one. This one here I paid $29.50 for. Here, I should just put this here. $29.50 for that one. So I'll show you what this card looks like. So, it's got that corner there. There's somewhere around the corner. But overall, in all, there's this thing called eye appeal. Now the top edge right here, where I'm shining the light, this whole edge here, right here, this whole edge here is pretty worn. You know, it's not super bad, but I noticed it. It's got some, like, you know, dirt discoloration on it too. See, in that corner, it had a lot of wear. But if you look at the card, the eye appeal, it looks nice, you know. And that is the most important thing, is when you look at the front of the card, what does it look like? Nobody picks up a card and goes, let me see the back. That's a pretty card back there, you know. And you can see on the back, it's wore around all the edges, you know. So this is pretty worn, and that's why it's cheaper. And these people that have these cards, I mean, you got to get insanely lucky to find somebody that doesn't know what they have and get a good deal off of it, or you're going to just get a decent price. You know, you're going to get a good deal, maybe a medium good deal. I don't know how else to say it. You're not going to get a great deal on this stuff because people know what they're worth, and they will say things like the price on this is firm. So I got a little bit better deal because I spent $11,000 on this. Okay, I bought a whole bunch of stuff off the guy, you know, all 3 cards, so I got a better deal on it. So that's that one. Again, the next 2 are the best condition ones. That one I paid $3,900 for, and this one had some dirt on the back, so I tried to clean it up a little bit with a paper towel and a little bit of water. And here's what the back looks like. So you can see a couple of dirt spots, you know. I was sort of hesitant to do that because I don't want to do any damage to the card surface, but like, it's already worn. What am I going to do? So basically, I cleaned a little bit of dirt off of some of the white spots to make it look a little bit better. It is what it is. This card here, this card will fool you. It looks really good, right? It's got a little bit of edge wear and stuff. I mean, it looks really good from a distance and from the front. Then you turn it over and you look at it closely on the back. It's a little bit disappointing as far as the wear, but it doesn't have any crushed corners or anything like that, any dents in it. So, you know, and I don't really know how exactly PSA and B and Beckett grade things. You know, I know it sort of, know enough to be dangerous, but like, I'm not sure how they do these things. So every time I send something in, which I've only sent a few things in, you know, you have to wonder, because I've sent in cards that like come right out of the pack, put in a sleeve and a top loader, and they'll get a 9 grade, okay, or an 8.5. You know, it's just like, I wonder if these people on some days they're having a bad day when they're grading these cards and give you a crappy grade because they're annoyed at something and they don't want to be generous, you know. Or they're just super anal. I mean, like, they do it all the time. So, I mean, look at Beckett. There's hardly any 10s in Beckett. They don't want to give 10s. So basically, a Beckett 9.5 is a PSA 10. But if I had to choose, I would take a PSA 10 over a Beckett 9.5 because a 10 sounds better, okay? But I'd also take a Beckett, you know, 9.5 over a PSA 9 because that sounds better because it's a half a grade higher, you know? So anything over a 9 is good in my opinion. If you get something that's a 9 or better, that's an awesome card because they're almost perfect. You know, they're just being really like nitpicky, you know? So, but as far as spending money on something, like I said, these cards are $70,000 for a PSA 9 or a Beckett 9. I'm not gonna spend that much money on this. So I spent $14,000 and I got 4 cards. So guess what? In the future, I could sell 1 or 2 or 3 and I will have 1 left over versus having 1 and it's all or nothing. And as you know, if you watch my channel, that's how I think. You know, I'd rather have multiples of something rather than have 1 of something that's more money. So this one here I paid $4,300 for. This is supposed to be the best one, okay? So, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. It's a little off center. It's got a little worn on this corner down here. Yeah, maybe I wasn't holding it right. I was actually looking over the camera. So it's a little off center. It's got the one corner is a little ding, but once again, you look at this card from the front. All these cards look nice from the front, sitting here in front of me from a distance, you know? There's nothing that glares out at you that they're that bad, you know? And that's what I'm banking on. And then you look at the back, and definitely the back is the best of them, you know. And usually if you want to know the condition of something, you always look at the back. The back is going to tell the condition of the card. But sometimes the back will actually be worse than the front. So anyway, remember I showed you this one in the beginning? This is the cheapest one that I got from that Japan kid. So I looked at his feedback because he did not have perfect feedback. And he had some negative feedback. He sold a card, one of these no rarity symbol cards, right, to somebody for $400. And the card was beat to heck, right? And he actually didn't sell it to the guy. He canceled it, right? So the guy was complaining, like, I buy something off of you and then you just cancel it, right? So he gave him negative feedback. So this card that he was selling, it was all beat up, right? It's like, what happened to is he said that as a kid, he left it in his pocket and his clothes got washed. Yeah. So it went through the washing machine and he sold it for $400. It was all beat up, right? Somebody was willing to pay somebody $400 for that beat up of a card. And another thing too, it's like if this is a PSA 9, okay, and it's going for $70,000, basically you could just do percentages. Okay, well, if that card's worth $70,000 and it's a PSA 9, what is a PSA 2 worth? 20% of that? Is a PSA 1 worth 10%? 10% of $70,000 is $7,000. So if this card is worth 10% of a PSA 9, that's a great deal. You know? Now, that's really simplistic math. Just say it's not worth 10%. Let's say it's worth 5%, right? Well, if it's worth 5%, 5% of $70,000 is $3,500. What'd I pay? I didn't pay $3,500. That's if it's only worth 5%. So you get the math. So this is. I guarantee you, if I put these on eBay, I'll get my money back or more right now. But I'm not going to do that. I thought maybe I should send some of these in to get them graded. I don't know. You know, after I look at them closely, scrutinizing them. You know, it's like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a card that looks like this, that's decent looking, or would you rather have this card graded and then it comes back as a PSA 2 or a PSA 1? This is one that's the big crease right here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'm undecided whether I should send these in. They're all no rarity symbols. I like that playmat. It's one of my favorites. So, what do you guys think? Should I send these 4 cards in and get them graded? See how nice they look from a distance? You know? And another thing, too, I was going to say this before I go. I am very concerned about scammers when it comes to Pokemon. I used to, be really concerned about the Magic, but Pokemon is caught up to Magic. And the reason why is because there's just enough people out there that want to make a bunch of money off of a scam. And Pokemon, the dollar amount of these Pokemon cards has gone up so much, it's attracted scammers. So there's more scammers now than ever. And what I noticed was, for these Charizards, okay, what I noticed was there's lots of fake proxies of English. But I've not seen one for Japanese. I bet there are, because I know somebody opened up a box. I think it was PokeRev opened up a box of a Neo Genesis and got it was a resale box, and I think that some of those cards in there were Neo Genesis rares that were fake cards. So if they're gonna fake a Neo Genesis, did I say this Japanese? This is Japanese box of Neo Genesis, because those Japanese boxes just have clear plastic. They don't have what covers them. They're clear. They don't have any logo on them. You know, do I have any logos on? No, none of these. None of these are sealed. You get what I mean. They have the Pokemon symbols. You know, the Pokemon symbols all over the outside of the box. Well, Japanese don't have that. They probably do now, but the older stuff, even the Wizards of Coast stuff didn't. So anyway, his cards, I'm pretty sure were in that box were fakes. So my whole point is, I'm thinking about investing into these Charizards of no rarity symbols, and that's why I did, because it's less likely for this stuff to be faked. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about sending these in, and if you have any tales about fake cards that you've heard and seen and how to spot them, because all my Charizards that I've ever had, we opened up out of packs and got them back when a Charizard was $50. Yeah, Charizard, a mint Charizard was $50, and you know, there's hardly anybody scamming them back then because there were no fakes, there were no replicas, or if there was one, it was plainly obvious that it was, you know, something a kid made, you know. So anyway, thanks. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a share. Talk to you later.